DJ Baller, you killed.
Second Peter 1 and 20 say, above all, you understand that no prophecy of scripture came about by the prophet's own interpretation of things. Actually, Peter emphasizes the source of the Old Testament prophecies, not who has the right to interpret the Bible today. You get that? No prophecy of scripture came about by the prophet's own interpretation of things. No prophecy of scripture came about by the prophet's own interpretation of things. Meaning, what you see me do with these videos and in my teachings, that is not private interpretation or my own interpretation. It is the interpretation of the prophets. The same interpretation. You want to know how? Because when you refer to a precept, right? Let's say, for instance, in Genesis, the prophet Moses prophesied about there's a multi-glass firmament dome above the earth. I interpret that as there's a multi-glass above the earth, a dome, a glass dome, as the scripture say. There's no private interpretation on my part. Not private interpretation. This is the private interpretation. When someone comes along and tells you that something's not real about the Bible, that ain't real. The firmament ain't real. It's an allegory. It's not to be taken literal. That's your private interpretation. That is private interpretation. Today we have teachers who are going at other teachers about private interpretation when their whole defense mechanism is private interpretation. Their whole doctrine is private interpretation. It goes against what the scriptures say. That didn't happen 2,000 years ago. The scriptures say it happened 2,000 years ago. He came and spoke. If we don't know him personally, Yahkℹ said, my sheep hear my voice. If we don't know him, how are we his sheep? How are we his sheep? If you don't know him, how are you his sheep? another. I can't really believe that they have that as a method of teaching. The book don't talk when it clearly speaks volumes. Well, at least in my days anyway. Genesis 6:4. Everything is an allegory though, right? Genesis 6:4. KJV. There were giants. There were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of Yahkℹ came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that. See this here? That's a whole giant laying out there, sleep, dead. There's your head, there's your mouth, there's your shoulder, the arm, leg. The visual might be a hand or something here. That's biblical evidence. No allegories here. I don't see allegories. I see visual facts, visual biblical facts. Nothing but biblical facts. See this here? This is a giant tree stump. See? That's uprooting out of the ground. That's giant old fossil wood there. You would think that it's rock because it's so old and fossilized. But that is a giant tree stump. There were giants in the earth, as the Bible say. Literally. There's a literal giant laying out there. And there's a literal tree stump. A giant tree stump. Biblical evidence, biblical proof. There's no way around it. There's no way around that. But you got to come with more firepower than that if you're gonna just speak with no evidence that the book don't talk. There's no physical proof here, physical proof there. I mean, how can one come up with that thought concept? After reading the book, I don't understand it, but I'm not wicked. I may be rude in speech, but not in knowledge. I don't lack knowledge. Want to drop those couple of jewels and give the Israelites and the Judites some spiritual food to nourish their spirit and comfort their edification of what they have learned, and they can hold on to it and embrace it. I do today.